HTML, JavaScript. JavaScript makes HTML pages more dynamic and interactive. And here we have an example. We have here this button, click me to display day and time. And if we click it, it's gonna display the day and time. So right now is Wednesday, February 15, 2023. And the time is 23:33:27. So there is around 11 p.m. This is Eastern Standard Time. So if we click try it yourself, this is what we are gonna get the code for. So we're gonna grab this code and we're gonna go to Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna go to Visual Studio Code and I'm gonna create a file name. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my folder. It's gonna be in JavaScript. So it's gonna be in programming, it's gonna be JavaScript, and it's gonna be in test. Okay, I'm gonna open this folder. Okay, here, and I'm gonna go to new file. I'm gonna name it index.html, and then I'm just gonna paste the code that I just copied, and I'm just gonna open it with Alt L+O, or just go to the file here and right click and then open with live server, or you can press Alt+L, Alt+O. So we're gonna open it, and here we have the code. So if we click it, we're gonna get the same thing. We're gonna get the date, Wednesday, February 15, 2023, and we're gonna get the time. So this is the code here. We have a heading 1, my first JavaScript. Then we have a button element with type attribute of button. Then we have the on-click event, equal sign. Inside of the double quotes we're gonna type in document.getElementById, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have double quotes or single quotes in this case, and we're gonna have our ID. We still don't have it. It's gonna be in line 11, but here is where we put our ID. In this case, in line 11 we're gonna have a paragraph, and we're gonna have an ID, and the ID is gonna be equal. Side of the double quotes is gonna be demo. So that is the ID that we're gonna put here inside of the single quotes, inside of the parentheses of the get element by ID. And now we're gonna chain it to the inner HTML, and then we're gonna use the equal sign and then the function date. So it's gonna be uppercase letter D for date, and then a set of parentheses. So this is our code, and you can put some style CSS if you want here, but if I refresh it, okay, my first JavaScript. Now if I click me to display day and time, so I click it and it's gonna be Wednesday, February 15, 2023, and the time, that is 23:36. So it works fine. Eastern Standard Time is my time here. So that is that for this example. So now we're gonna see the HTML script tag. The HTML script tag is used to define a client-side script, JavaScript. The script element either contains script statements or it points to an external script file through the source attribute. Common uses for JavaScript are image manipulation, form validation, and dynamic changes of content. To select an HTML element, JavaScript most often uses the document.getElementById method. This JavaScript example writes hello JavaScript into an HTML element with the ID demo. So we're gonna check out this example. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this one so we can see it better in Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna go to my index.html file. I'm gonna paste it here. Here we have a heading 2, use JavaScript to change text. We have a paragraph. This example writes hello JavaScript into an HTML element with ID demo. Then we have a paragraph with ID demo, and then we have a script element, and inside of that we're gonna have the document that get element by ID, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have double quotes, and inside of that we're gonna have the ID. In this case the ID is demo. So we're gonna chain it to the inner HTML equal sign, and we're gonna have hello JavaScript. So if we open our page, this is what we have. Use JavaScript to change text. This example writes hello JavaScript into an HTML element with ID demo hello JavaScript. So you can put a button if you want, like we did here in the previous example. But that is that for that example. A taste of JavaScript. Here are some examples of what JavaScript can do. JavaScript can change content. So in this case they're using document that get element by ID again, and then we are chaining it to the inner.html. So let's see. Okay, so here is the button that I was talking about. So let's just grab this example and just go to Visual Studio Code, paste it. So again we have a heading 1, my first JavaScript. We have a paragraph. JavaScript can change the content of an HTML element. In line 9 we have the button element. We have the type attribute of button. We have an onClick event, and inside of the onClick event we're gonna have this function named myFunction with a set of parentheses. Then the context is gonna be click me. We're gonna end the button tag. In line 11 we're gonna have a paragraph with an ID of demo, and the context is gonna be this is a demonstration. Okay, we're gonna end the paragraph tag here, and from lines 13 to 17 we're gonna have the script element. So inside of the script element we're gonna have a function, and the function name is myFunction. Inside of the curly braces of myFunction we're gonna have the document. We're gonna have the document that get element by ID, and inside of the parentheses, inside of the double quotes, we're gonna have the ID, and the ID is demo. Now we're gonna chain it with inner HTML. So we're gonna have document that get element by ID, that inner HTML, and now we're gonna change this one. This is a demonstration to hello JavaScript. So let's see what happens. So I click it. Okay, hello JavaScript. So it's changing, it's working. So and then again we have the paragraph in line 11. This is a demonstration, but the paragraph has an ID attribute, and the ID is demo. So now from lines 13 to 17 we have the script element. So this is where we're gonna use JavaScript. We have a function, and the function name is myFunction. Inside of the curly braces we're gonna use document that get element by ID. We open parentheses. Inside of the parentheses, inside of the double quotes, we're gonna pass in the ID, and after that we're gonna chain it to the inner HTML, and then here we can update the message. So the message is this is a demonstration, so we're gonna update that to hello YouTube, for example. Hello YouTube. We're gonna save it, and when we go to our website, if we click it, hello YouTube, it works. So again in lines 9 we have the button element. We have the type button, and this is very important. We have the onClick event. Without the onClick event this whole code wouldn't work. We use the equal sign inside of the parentheses. This is where we type in the function, and the function is the function that we're gonna create here. In this case is myFunction with parentheses. So that is that for that example. And then again you can use some style attributes here, some CSS to make it look better, but that is that. Now we have JavaScript can change style. So okay, so we're gonna see some CSS from here right now. Okay, I'm gonna close these tabs, and okay, what do we have here? So if I click, okay, my first JavaScript can change the style of an HTML element. So if you click it, okay, it changes the text and the background. Okay, so we're gonna see that example, and we're gonna go to Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna go to my index.html file, and in line 5 I have a heading 1, my first JavaScript. Line 7 I have a paragraph with ID demo, and the text is gonna say JavaScript can change the style of an HTML element. So that is that. From lines 9 to 15 we're gonna have the script element, and if you mouse over it you have some information you can read here. The script element allows authors to include dynamic script and data blocks in their documents. The element does not represent content for the user. So inside of the script we're gonna have the function, and the function name is my function with parentheses. We open curly braces, and now we're gonna use the document.getElementById. Inside of the parentheses, inside of the double quotes, we're gonna pass in the ID, since we're using getElementById. Now we're gonna chain it to a style, and then we're gonna chain it to the font size, and the font size is gonna be 25 pixels. Okay, semicolon, and now we're gonna do the same. Document.getElementById, we pass in the ID, we chain it to the style, and this time we are chaining it to the color. And the first one, in line 11, we are chaining it to the font size. In line 12 we are chaining it to the color, in this case red. Let's change it, maybe blue. Let's the blue and pixel, let's put, I don't know, let's put 50. Okay, so in the third one, document.getElementById, inside of the parentheses we're gonna put in we're gonna pass in the ID, we're gonna chain it to the style, and then we're gonna chain it to the background color. They're using yellow, let's I don't know, let's use green. Okay, and that is that for the script element. In line 17 we have the button element, and we have the type attribute of button. Then we're gonna have the unclick event, so this is very important. We have the unclick event, and it's gonna be equal sign. Inside of the double quotes we're gonna have to put in our function. And what is our function? The name of our function is my function with parentheses. We close the angle brackets, and then we're gonna put some message. In this case the context is gonna be click me, and then we end the button tag. So we save it, and then we're gonna open it, and here you have it. So we have my first JavaScript, and if I click it, I should have a font size of 50 pixels. The color should be blue and the background green. So let's see if that is correct. So I click it, and there you have it. It's 50 pixels in size. So let's move it back to, I don't know, maybe just 25. Let's go to 25. It's gonna look smaller. So if I click it, okay, it's gonna be smaller. Now JavaScript can change the style of an HTML element. So that is that. You can see the font size, the color, and the background color. Okay, so that is that for that example. And then we have this example here. JavaScript can change attributes. So in this one we were dealing with the styles, and this final example here, okay, so in this final example we're gonna be checking attributes. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna close this one, and let's see this example. My first JavaScript here, a JavaScript changes the value of the source attribute of an image. So if I click it, light on, okay, so I'm turning this bold. If I light off, so I'm turning it off, turn it on, turn it off. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna copy this code. I'm gonna go to Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna save it, and okay, so okay, let's see if it's working. So I'm gonna go, and I don't have the image. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this Okay, so I'm gonna grab the image first and I'm gonna save it in my folder. So this one is gonna be okay. I'm gonna save it, and let me see, this is gonna be live off. Okay, I'm gonna save it here in my folder test, and also when it's on, let me see, and this one should be on. Okay, so now, okay, so let's refresh it. Light on and light off, light on. Okay, it's working. Okay, let's walk through the code now. So first of all, I have my folder name is test, and inside of this folder I have my HTML file that is named index.html. so this is where I'm writing my code, but I also grab two pictures and I name it. This one, for example, this one is the picture that I just grabbed. This one that is off, so it's gonna be peak underscore bulb off that gif, and the other one that I grab is the same, but it's gonna be when it's on, so it's gonna be peak underscore bulb that gif. So you have to grab those pictures and save it in your folder. Okay, so now we're gonna walk through the code. Okay, so in line 5 I have a heading 1, my first JavaScript. Then in line 6 I have a paragraph. Here a JavaScript changes the value of the source attribute of an image, and then from lines 8 to 18 we're gonna have the script. So I'm gonna move it to the right, this one a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna tab it. So inside of the script we have a function named light, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have an attribute, we're gonna have a parameter. In this case they're naming it SW, but you can name it whatever you want. Okay, so you open curly braces, and inside of the curly braces we're gonna have a variable named peak, and since we want the bulb to be turned on and then off, is changing, so we can use the variable, the var, or we can also use the let declaration, but we cannot use the const because the const has to be constant. For example, if I use const in this case, it's not gonna work. So if I go here, light on, light off, no, it's not working because it's constant, it's not changing. So in this case we need to change. We can use the let declaration in this case. So if we go to our example, light on is working, light off. Okay, so this it works. So you can use the var declaration statement or the let declaration statement, and this one we can change. For example, this parameter, we can say I don't know, we can say ws per se, and we would change this one down to ws. So we have a function named light. Inside of the parentheses we have this parameter named ws. Inside of the curly braces we have the let statement declaration named peak. We put a semicolon here, and then we're gonna use the if statement. Inside of the parentheses of the if statement we are grabbing this parameter ws, and we are assigning it to 0. Okay, so if the ws is assigned to 0, then the peak that we are gonna grab is gonna be the peak underscore bulb of that gif. So in other words, when it's off, the peak that we are gonna grab is gonna be this one, the one that is off, this peak right here. So now we're gonna close the curly braces of the if statement, and we're gonna go for the else open curly braces, and then the peak is gonna be assigned to the peak underscore bulb on. So pretty much if it's in 0, the bulb is gonna be off, else the bulb is gonna be on. So pretty much if the ws is assigned to 1, it's gonna be on. If the ws is assigned to 0, it's gonna be off. So now we close the curly braces of the if else statement, and now we're gonna use the document that get element by ID. And now inside of the parentheses we're gonna have the double quotes, or in this case single quotes, and we're gonna have the ID. In this case we still we can grab this one. I think let's just grab this one and let's go let's put it here. Okay, so in line 8 we have the image with an ID of my image, and we have the source, and the source is gonna be the peak underscore bulb of that GIF, and we have a width of 100 pixels and a height of 180 pixels. So the ID is my image. So here and again in line 18 we're gonna use the document that get element by ID. Inside of the parentheses, inside of the double or single quotes, in this case single quotes, we're gonna use this ID, my image, this one, and then we're gonna chain it to the source, and the source is gonna be assigned to the peak underscore bulb of that GIF. So, and make sure that I have it in my root, so it has to be in your root. I have it right here, so it's gonna be this one. So that is that, and then we're gonna assign it to the peak, to the variable peak, and we're using the let statement declaration, or you can use the var statement declaration. So that is that for the script element. Outside of that, in lines 22 we're gonna have a paragraph. Inside of the paragraph we're gonna have two buttons. The first button element is gonna have a type of button. We're gonna have an unclick event, and it's gonna be equal. Inside of the double quotes we're gonna have the function that is gonna be named light, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have the number 1. So in this case we put when the number is 0, the peak is gonna be assigned to the peak underscore bulb off, so the lights are gonna be off. But when it's other number other than 0, the lights are gonna be on. So in this case we close angle brackets, and then we're gonna have this message light on, and then we end the button tag. In the second button we're gonna have button type button unclick event equal sign. Inside of the double quotes we're gonna have this function light, and as a parameter we're gonna have the number 0, and in this case the lights are gonna be off. So we close we end the button tag, and we end the paragraph tag. So we go to our website, Alt L plus O, and this is what we have here. So if I click light on, it's gonna turn on, and if I click it lights off, I'm gonna turn it off. So this is how it's working. Okay, so finally we're gonna have the HTML non-script tag. The HTML non-script tag defines an alternate content to be displayed to users that have disabled script in their browser, or have a browser that doesn't support a script. So we're gonna see what's going on here. So in this case let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna grab this example. Let's go to our Visual Studio Code, and we're gonna go to our website now. Okay, and this is what we had. So in our Visual Studio Code we have in file we have a paragraph with ID demo. We have a script element from line 7 to 9. Inside of that we're gonna have the document get element by ID. We're gonna grab the ID of the line 5. It's gonna be demo. We are gonna chain it to the inner.html, and then we're gonna assign it to the string hello JavaScript. Okay, in lines 11 we're gonna use the non-script. Sorry, your browser does not support JavaScript. Okay, and then finally we're gonna have a paragraph in line 13. A browser without support for JavaScript will show the text written inside the non-script element. Okay, so hello JavaScript. A browser without support for JavaScript will show the text written inside the non-script element. So if a browser without support for JavaScript. So my browser has support for JavaScript, but if I didn't have it, this would be the message that would be appearing in my website here. It'll be appearing, sorry, your browser does not support JavaScript. So yeah, that is pretty much. And yeah, and finally we have the HTML script tags. So we have the script tag that defines a client-side script, and finally the non-script that defines an alternate content for users that do not support client-side scripts.